Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Monday to you. Hope everyone had a wonderful and safe, hopefully restful 4th of July. Today is July the 6th, 2015. I want to welcome you to world-renowned motivational speaker, speech coach, and best-selling author, Les Brown, Monday Night Motivation, featuring Les Brown and the Platinum Speakers Voices of Hope. For those of you that have joined us before, and to the first-time listeners, this is your place for motivation, inspiration, and empowerment. I am Anita Hicks, your host, peak performance strategist, and life coach. Thank you so much for investing in yourself and joining us tonight. Well, everyone, tonight we have a special treat for you. She's very special to me, and I know she's special to you. You hear this voice on almost every Monday night call, and you had an opportunity to hear her last week. You're going to hear her again this week. This is my friend and my sister, my platinum sister, Dr. Stacie N.C. Grant. And for those of you that are not, if you don't know her, I don't know where you've been, but I want to tell you just a little bit about Dr. Stacie N.C. Grant. Dr. Grant is living her divine calling to lead, teach, and inspire. Described as God's designer original, she ignites her audiences with her captivating smile, intoxicating humor, and boundless energy. As an empowerment specialist, Dr. Grant is a highly sought-after inspirational speaker, trainer, life coach, and mistress of ceremony. The strategic forces of Dr. Grant's empowerment platform is executed through her Destiny Designers University, where she serves as designer-in-chief, a virtual life skills leadership presentation and professional development platform. She has hosted the popular Monday midday motivation show entitled Create Your Own Luck with Stacie N.C. Grant, and the TV pilot Destiny Designers TV. Dr. Stacie N.C. Grant also has the distinction of being one of the world-renowned Les Brown notable platinum speakers, the co-host of Les Brown Monday Night Motivation, and one of his expert trainers. Stacie, how are you, my sister?
Hello, my dear. I just love hearing your voice every single Monday. We get to play in the universe and enjoy inspiring lives. Yes. So good to hear you. I hope you had a great holiday.
I did. I got some rest, and I ate a lot. How about you?
I did the same thing, and I enjoyed every minute of it. But thank you so much for who you are and the fact that we get to do this every single Monday and carry on the legacy Mr. Brown has created with this platform. And I'm just so honored that anybody would want to open up their little ears and let me in their heart tonight.
Well, you know what? You have such a powerful message, and I know you spoke with Les today, and I know that he is excited about having you on the call tonight with all the energy that you brought last week. So, I know we have a short time. I'm going to mute my line, let you get started, and then we'll chat after.
Absolutely. Thank you, Anita. And good evening to all of you who are listening on evening or Eastern Standard Time. To those listening all around the world, just hello. I am just thrilled that we get to share this moment in time together. Just want to thank Mr. Les Brown again for this platform. He has been providing this Monday night motivational call for years, a part of his commitment in inspiring 100,000 voices all over the globe. And I tell you, as I took a break, as I mentioned before with Anita, for the holiday, I talked last week about independence and declaring your own independence. And it was an exciting day for me because that day was the day that I actually stepped out and decided to run my business full time. That was the day that I declared and decreed on the 29th of June that I was no longer going to just play halfway, but I was going to play full out and run this business that I had started a few years prior completely full time. It was a nervous time. It was really a challenge for me to be able to say, I am going to do this come high water, come low water. I don't know how many of you can relate to that and declaring that kind of independence, because it's easy to know where your check is coming from every week. Can I get an amen? Because when you know that you have benefits, that you have the ability to cash a check every other week or every week as a result of the work that you produce for somebody else, there's a certain level of comfort. But when you declare your independence to step out in the world, to provide to the world your services, your talents, your goods, that's something that could really make you lose 1 or 2 hair follicles. But I did it, and I stepped out on faith, saying that I knew that there was more, that this was the time to be able to move ahead with what I felt in my soul and in my spirit. And some of you listening right now, you've been tuning into this call, some for the first time, and I say welcome to the new callers, some who've just joined this year, some who've been here year after year, and you're attracted to Les Brown's Motivational Monday Night Call to hear his voice, to hear the voices of myself and the other platinum speakers, because you know that there is more to life for you, because you know and understand that there's a certain independence that you want to celebrate, that you want to have your own fireworks going off in your life, because you have put your stake in the ground. You understand that 2015 is a year of change, growth, and there's a shift happening. See, every time that you hear our voices, every time that we touch you in a place deep down in your belly, like that under feeling that you can't even describe, that you get excited, that you hear our voices and you want to just go running down the street and telling everyone. You want to stay up all night long because you're excited about what you possess. See, that kind of independence that you're declaring and decreeing, it's also seeking you. So when I focused on this weekend just celebrating, one, that I have the liberty and the freedom to dream a dream here in this country, that we all celebrated with barbecues or family time or travel or vacation, but not to take for granted that even in 2015, there are people who don't have the latitude to be able to dream the way that we can, to be able to take a chance and take a bet on themselves and know that you are the best bet out there. When you think about where you are right now in your life, I just want you to reflect on something that I sat and I pondered. I said, wow, what if I felt that urge and I didn't take the next step? What if I believed what other people said to be true instead of believing in me? What if I didn't have the right people around me to speak life, to speak encouragement, to talk a different conversation around what's possible in my life? What if I wouldn't be here with you right now experiencing this time in this place and understanding that my work with Les Brown and those who I've been privileged to share platforms with have transformed and changed my ability to reach the masses? So I'm not telling you that to impress you, but to impress upon you the importance of now. And my talk tonight is going to be around just the clarity in the vision. I was watching Iyanla Vanzant speak on one of the master classes she did with Oprah, or one of the tours. And there was a phrase in there that jumped out at me, and I just want to share that with you tonight. She was on a vacation with her grandson, and she had to take him to go get his glasses checked out. He wore glasses. And she said she went with him, you know, accompanying like a good grandmother. You're going to go and take your grandson, run some errands, and continue on. And the optometrist offered to check her eyes. She said, I don't need to get my eyes checked. My eyes are fine. You know, I have 20/20 vision. And when she humored the optometrist to just take a look, what she said to her was that your eyes will adjust to the level of deficiency present. Wow. Let me repeat that one more time. Your eyes will adjust to the level of deficiency present. Woo, I had to sit with that one. I said, wow. So even our physiological body, our eyes will adjust to the level of deficiency present. When I think back on the things that I have done, the things that I second guess because my eyes were adjusting to the level of deficiency present because of the belief system that I did not have at the time that was going to match what had already been decreed for me. See, somebody didn't get that, but I'm going to repeat it one more time. Your eyes will adjust to the level of deficiency present. I was sharing that with Les, and I said, Les, isn't that just a meaty statement? If you think about the fact that sometimes we allow ourselves to reduce the vision for our life, to decrease our dreams and our goals, to withdraw from taking chance and opportunity towards living a better and a bigger life. He said, absolutely, because in order to grow, in order to create the kind of lifestyle that we're looking for, we must create experiences beyond our training, beyond our deficiency, beyond the things that we don't know. See, I had to be very clear that I didn't know everything. So because I didn't know everything and I wasn't the smartest person in my group, I needed to get with a group of individuals, mentors, coaches, that I could invest my time and my energy in to expand my paradigm. You've heard me say it over and over again. It's one of my favorite quotes from Dennis Kimbrough. If you're the smartest person in your group, you need a new group. You need to be around people that can stretch you. And that's one of the secrets that Les shared with me. He said, you know, when you can position yourself to be uncomfortable, to stretch, to reach up in order to grow, that's how you get to the next level. He had people in his life who spoke to him. You heard him tell the stories. Brownie, you're more than a disc jockey. Brownie, you're more than a legislator. Brownie, you can change the world with your voices. Who is speaking in your life? Who is helping you to adjust what you are seeing? Who is clarifying your vision so that you do not play small? See, in order for us to get to that next level, in order for us to stretch past what's comfortable, because let's be real, it's easy to just do enough to get by. It's easy not to step out and make yourself vulnerable and open to others' ridicule or others' critique of what you're doing with your life. It's easy to just play it cool, to just go on and get by. But it takes a special individual, an individual like you who dialed into this call tonight to know that you are in a space where you cannot be comfortable anymore, that you have to choose relationships that will stretch you, choose relationships that will raise our consciousness to a whole nother level. Let me tell you the power in that. See, when Ilana talked about the fact that it was just an eye appointment, and an eye appointment just made her think differently about how we can reduce our own vision for ourselves, I think about this young man from Africa who was featured on CNN, Jay Karengo, if I'm not misspelling his name. But his story is so powerful because, see, he didn't let others reduce the vision that he had for his life. See, he came to America and he was on a special program and was staying in a hotel, and he just observed that people would throw out their soap when they finished in the hotel. Something as simple as soap would just discard it, and he asked the hotel management, what happens? What happens with all of this soap in the hotel room? Do you reuse it? And, of course, the hotel manager looked at him like he was insane, like, we throw that out. We don't reuse soap. And he said that there were villages back home that he could recycle that soap, and they could use that soap, and they could actually help to reduce disease and actually be able to give people who never had bars of soap. I said, wow, and he began to do his research. He began to see how much in just this country was used and wasted that could be recycled and offered to somebody else in a faraway country that would not take it for granted. I was shocked. That story, it sticks with me. I talk about it all the time because imagine that he did not adjust his vision to what was status quo. And the status quo is you use a piece of soap, you throw it out. There's no need. You just disregard it. But he was in a different space of operating. See, he was exposed to something different. He was exposed to the opportunity to be able to help those who he knew needed it by expanding his vision. You'll never know who you're going to touch. You're never going to know whose life you're going to save. You're never going to know which communities you can transform unless you raise your consciousness and relationships and invite yourself to stretch past what's comfortable in order to execute your divine calling. See, that vision that you have, that goal, that dream, he didn't know where his goal and dream was going to take him. At that moment, he was just thinking about a bar of soap, a wasted bar of soap. But from that step of faith, from that moment of him realizing that there was something more for him to do with his life, that he couldn't just be comfortable in a certain level of success that he achieved, but he had to stretch himself to say, how can I make this a blessing to others? See, that's what happens when you stretch yourself. That's what happened when I invested in working with Mr. Brown. That's what happened when I stepped on platforms like FraserNet and working with George Fraser. That's what happened when I started doing the work that I do, not because I'm fabulous, but because I realized that I needed to grow, that I needed to stretch my paradigm, that I needed to touch and press palms with those who were playing a bigger game, that I needed to look right around me and figure out where were the pieces of soap that I was overlooking, where were the areas and opportunities that I could create memories and experiences to create shifts in the lives of those that I work with. See, as you listen to this call, as you hear the voices of those who speak to you, it's a reminder of what you already know. It's a reminder that you have to choose wisely how you spend your energy. Because if you're hanging around people with a limited vision, your eyes will adjust to the level of deficiency present. Woo! That one got me good in my soul. If you're hanging with the wrong people, that's a tweet. As Miss O would say, your eyes will adjust to the level of deficiency present, because people who can't dream a bigger dream will drag you down. We can't afford to be in relationships with individuals who are draining, who are taxing, who are telling us no instead of encouraging the yes, who are looking at us, and because they're not stepping out on their goals and dreams, they want you to halt your goals and dreams. See, we have to watch the kind of energy that is around us. I talk all the time about who is sitting in your front row. Who is sitting in your front row? Who is encouraging you to read a new book this week? Who is encouraging you to invest in a program for yourself? Who is encouraging you to travel and explore new places, new cultures, new opportunities? Who is encouraging you to dream a bigger dream? Because sometimes we have to be around people who can see a bigger vision for ourselves than we can see at the moment. You've heard it said time and time again, you can't see the picture if you're in the frame. So in order for you to explore, in order for you to really rise to the occasion, your vision has to be elevated. Your consciousness has to be elevated. You can run faster with 100 than one person around your neck. You need to find individuals who are thinking the same, speaking the same language, and they are committed to personal growth and development. But that's just not going to happen overnight. It's, you're saying, Stacie, that sounds good in theory, but on those tough days, on those days when life shows up, how do you keep moving? Well, here's my little secret sauce. See, you have to be able to tune in to the relationships that will lift your energy and your spirit. Here's a test. If you get a phone call, and thank God for call ID, you see the number come up and instantly your face frowns or you feel like, oh, Lord, what is it now? What are they complaining about? Just instantly you feel everything inside of you shifting because you know the call is drama. You know the call is draining. You know the person is not calling to really check on you but to dump on you. That is the first tip on running far, far away from that phone call and pressing ignore. Now, I don't want you going around ignoring all your family members all the time or close friends. You have to strategically do that and tell them that you were busy in a meeting. They don't need to know that the meeting was with you. But why is that important? Because you need to answer the phone calls of the people who raise your spirit, who raise your energy. You can actually create a physiological change in somebody's body. Research has shown if you are speaking positive words, if you are encouraging, if you allow them to be able to feel better physically as a result of your interaction. See, it's not just going to happen overnight that you can weed out all the people in your life that are not causing you to grow, but you have to be conscious as of right now. Who is sitting in your immediate front row? Because sometimes we have to love people from a distance. We have to be in the position of being uncomfortable. I know it's not easy. But in order for us to clarify our own vision, in order for us to decrease the deficiency in what we see for our lives, we have to be deliberate about those we allow in our space. So I want you to write down right now. If you're driving, please do not write and drive, but just do it when you get home. But I want you to write down right now how you are going to evaluate the people you speak to on a daily basis. Because we all have people that we talk to every day. Sometimes it's every week. But be deliberate. As of tonight, be very deliberate about who you are spending your time with and who you are allowing to enter your subconsciousness. Because this will be a deciding factor in how you progress every day. We're in the third quarter of the year. It is time to turn it up. We cannot allow ourselves to play small. Not anymore. No more playing small. No more being in the background and feeling that's comfortable. No more of our vision adjusting to the level of deficiency that we see for our lives. Just no more. No more being in the relationships that don't uplift us. No more waiting to step out and bring to the world our product, our service, our vision, our real estate that we want to own. No more waiting for somebody else to validate who we are. No more. You have what you need. You have everything that you can bring to the world. It just needs to be cultivated by the right team, by the right individuals that you will align yourself to invest in creating a better future for you. When I think about Jay and just creating this whole idea of recycling soap, when I think about the fact that so many of us have a good idea, we have something that we want to do and something that comes to us, and we never act on that idea, and then somebody else takes our idea. Have you been there? Have you thought of something? Or maybe it's a product, or maybe you thought of an organization to start and you never move forward with it, and then you look up and somebody else is running with your dream. What's been given to you has been given to you for a time and a purpose. We're in a space right now where we have to clarify our vision, where we have to believe more in the possibility than in the lack. We are in a space right now. Viktor Frankl talks about, between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space is our ability to make a decision, to take some action, to really be deliberate about what's next for our lives. When I was recently in Dallas, I spoke to you last week about meeting some incredible people, and I got an email this week from a young person who was there. She's a college student, and she said she was so inspired. Her name is Desiree, that she went back and she said she is not going to wait anymore. She's going to start an organization called a Power Ambassadors, that because she was around people who were creating, people who were deliberately functioning in their divine calling, she was inspired to not wait until she graduated to be able to start this organization, but to start it right now. She was clear about the fact that because people spoke into her life, that people had the right conversations around her, that people had the similar views about the future, that the future for her is now. That she went back and she started this group, and she asked me to be a mentor or to come and speak for them. And I said, of course I would, but I wanted to know what really got to her, what really made her step out on faith, to step out and do something instead of talking about it. Because a lot of us talk about our goals and dreams because we're looking through the lens that has reduced itself. We're looking through the lens that is not showing us the greatness that resides in us. We're looking through the lens that is telling us, no, you don't have enough money. No, you don't know the right people. No, you don't have what it takes. We're looking through a lens that's showing us all of the things that cannot be, instead of looking through the lens that we are reaching for through the eyes of those that have played a bigger game, that are saying, come, there's room for you here. Come, I want you to be a part of changing the world one person at a time. Come, it's time for you to step into your greatness. Come, the world needs you. The world needs your voice. Come, the world needs you to open up that piece of real estate. The world needs you to be able to create the relationships as an example for others to model. The world is waiting for all of us to adjust not to the level of deficiency present, but the level of proficiency available when we reach for expanding our relationships with individuals who have the ability to help us grow. It goes back to the whole idea of the 10,000 hours of mastery in the book, The Outliers, when you are doing your work over and over again, that no matter what it looks like, no matter how challenging, no matter how daunting it may seem to keep moving when you're not sure what the results are going to be, that you keep pressing forward because you've armed yourself with an army of individuals that can help you navigate the next step in your life. I want to leave you with a few things to do. You know, I always give assignments and challenges so that we don't just listen, but we act on the information received. So if you, like me, have been guilty of adjusting to the level of deficiency present, if you've been guilty of thinking that you weren't enough, that you didn't have enough, that you weren't from the same pedigree as others so that you couldn't do, if you were in a space where people have been talking down to you, who didn't believe in you, if you've ever been caught up with not being able to see a vision with some of the things right around us, just like recycled soap, just like a poem that could save someone from taking their life, just like an example to a group of students on a college campus that don't want just an education, but they want to change the world through example. If you've been in that space, I want to invite you to do one more thing. I ask you to write down who you're spending your time with. Who are you talking to? Who are you speaking to? Who have you invested your time with? What books have opened your mind and challenged your thought pattern? What conferences have you attended? What do you spend your time listening to on the radio, on the TV? What are you giving your attention to? And when you write down and evaluate who it is that's draining your energy versus who is lifting your energy, the second thing I want you to do is decide and make an appointment to have a conversation of growth. A conversation of growth for at least 15 minutes every day for the next 7 days. A conversation of growth. What is a conversation of growth, Dr. Stacie? It's a conversation that you are going to challenge yourself to do something different. Not just listen to great words, not just read information, but actually act on it. What are you going to do? 15 minutes every day deciding on how you are going to grow. If that's making a phone call, if it's sending an email, if it's following up on someone that you met at an event, if it's reaching out to someone that you want to work with, if it's getting them as a mentor or a coach, if it's investing in a program, 15 minutes every day, who can you speak to as your accountability partner? Someone who is going to hold you to a higher standard of what's possible for your life. And I need you to call that person tonight. I need you to tell them the assignment. I need you to let them know that you have committed and promised me in front of hundreds of people on this call that you are going to have 15 minutes of growth for the next 7 days. And then I want to hear exactly what you've been able to accomplish, because it's in momentum. It's in moving forward. It's in not stopping that you will see the growth in your life, that your vision will now rise to the greatness that's inside of you. It's in that moment where it will no longer decrease to any deficiency present, and I rebuke any deficiency that you might see now, because I'm going to hold the vision for you. I'm going to hold the vision for what's possible in your life. I'm going to hold the vision just like Les Brown does every single week by allowing this platform, because he understands that saying the words, "There's greatness in you," is not just the words. It's about the power in understanding how you can be a voice of hope, how your life can be an example, how you liberate others to do the same, just as Marianne Williamson talks about in the Course of Miracles. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. And I tell you today, you are powerful beyond measure. There's a certain level of grace built in with power, built in with strategy, all wrapped up in one, that starts to come together once you believe that what you have is enough. Once you believe and raise the bar on yourself, that you are willing to be uncomfortable, you are willing to not understand it all, you are willing to put yourself in a vulnerable position to learn and grow with those who have done it. See, it's one thing to learn from someone in theory, but it's another thing to walk in it. And I tell you that if I did not step out on faith, if I did not believe that what I had was worth the investment, that what I had was worth the opportunity to stretch out my hand and ask for help, to invest my dollars in not just entertainment, but education that will allow me the ability to build a platform where lives can be changed, I would still be sitting June 29th, 2001, waiting for it to happen and not declaring my independence. And somebody on this call tonight, you understand where you are. You understand the prime time that it is. You understand that this is your space. You understand that no longer can your vision be altered. No longer will you reduce and play small to make other people feel comfortable. No longer will you wait for the perfect timing, that you will move with purpose and conviction on your goals and your dreams. So the last thing that I want you to do, I've asked you to write down and evaluate those relationships. I've asked you to decide who you're going to use 15 minutes of growth conversation with for the next 7 days, and then I want you to wrap it up with a note to yourself. I want you to date it today, July 6, 2015, and I want you to write a note to self that this day, this is the vision for your life that you are creating. I want you to be very specific about what you will now see differently, a bigger vision for yourself. Where are you going to be come 6 months, 12 months, and even 5 years from now? What are you going to declare and decree today, July 6, 2015, that will be different 5 years from now? I want you to be very descriptive. I want you to write down how you will be financially free, how you will be running your business, your operation, your real estate company, your community service program, your products that you will be producing. You'll be sitting in an interview with Oprah. Whatever it is that you see for your life, I want you to dream big tonight. I'm giving you permission tonight to stop just watching other people live their dreams. Live your dream now. And if you're living your dream, you can play bigger, because if you can accomplish your dream by yourself, then you're not dreaming big enough. So challenge yourself tonight to write down a complete vision. I want you to put it up somewhere that you can look at it. See the power in visualization, the power in words, the power in writing down and putting it on paper will allow the brain to connect to the reality that you are stepping into. I challenge you to do that. And if you do that, if you keep that in front of you, no longer will your eyes adjust to any levels of deficiency present, because it can only see the next best version of you. It can only see how you're going to contribute to this world. It can only see the good that you will do, the lives that you will save, the information that you will share, just like Jay did, with a few bars of used soap, changed and transformed villages and places where there were disease. It might not be bars of soap for you, but it's bars of your brilliance that will be melted together, that will now transform and change lives, because you're no longer going to look through the lens of people playing small. You're no longer going to sit back and wait for that opportunity to arise. You are going to create your own opportunities. You're going to create your own platforms. You're going to create your own businesses. You're going to create your own stair steps in corporate America. You're going to do the big thing that you've been decided to do long before you even knew it, that it was declared and decreed for you. So humor me and do those 3 simple steps and watch what starts to happen even in your psyche as you make the decision to raise the consciousness of your conversations and relationships and stretch to where you can be in a space of only operating with collaborative, achievement-driven relationships that are going to make that number 3 assignment become a reality. I am counting on your success. I believe in every fiber of my being that this is your time. Your independence is here. Your vision has been clarified, and your freedom now lies in the execution of the actions that I shared with you. And I'm going to leave you with that Viktor Frankl quote one more time. Between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space is our power to choose our response, and in choosing our response lies our growth and freedom. Here's to your freedom, because your vision is now clear. Anita Boo, are you there?
Wow, Stacie, that was 3 simple yet powerful steps. When you
Stacie, I'm proud of you, girl.
It was powerful, wasn't it?
Papa Brad is on the call.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
powerful.
It was
It
powerful.
was so powerful, yes.
Let me share something with you, and Nita, you know this. It is, that half hour is a long time.
Yes.
When you don't have an audience to look at, you don't have the ability to see people's response and hear it, and to speak from your heart and to visualize that audience and speak to them as if they are in front of you, and to be able to connect with people. I was going through a tough time today, and I lost two of my platinum speakers on a physical level. And I got a call this morning, and a friend of mine, very close friend, Mike Rivers out of Columbus, Ohio, who was my karate instructor. He died unexpectedly. And my kids were reluctant to tell me because they know I've been dealing with grieving when I help people who, the families, I have pain too because these are my friends. And that hit me in the guts. And I just was lethargic and not quite myself. And when you spoke today, it helped me. It helped me because life is about three areas. One is a reason. We are here for a reason to do a great work. Two, a season. We're here for a certain amount of time, and Mike's time is up. The call will come out. Les is gone. My time will be up. And it's about creating the life that you want. And you talked about that. And as you spoke, it gave me a peace that we're all going to go. We're born to die. Mike had done his work. His time was up. And I've got a work to do. I've got something else to do. And I've got to be about the business of doing that, because the clock is not going to stop and say, wait, he's grieving now. He's lost three friends within a month. He's grieving. No, the clock is not going to stop. I've taken a hit. I thank God for their lives and what they've meant to me. And you spoke, and it helped me to connect with myself, to move through this and be a comfort to his sons and to his wife, and to be about my Father's business. And that's not easy. You brought me through this, and I thank you for that. And I can tell who study. I can tell those who study. You study. You study. I can tell who's reading. I don't have to see you. I can tell. Reuben, the reason I selected to you, I know what you do. I can hear it in the intensity and your content, and you study me. And there are things that I do that you've tapped into that, and there are things that I've learned from you. And that's really the power of the synergy when people study with you, or someone comes in, take 2 or 3 lessons, then run off and start teaching it themselves. First, as a student, there's mastery, and then there's teachers. And I've seen people who come and took 3 or 4 classes, and then they go off and start teaching it themselves. And they don't know what they don't know. And one of the things I decided after hearing you, and I look at Anita, people who've been here with me for this journey, and Reuben, that when I have the training in September, for the first time, because you know enough for me to share with you the other things that I would not even bring up to people who don't study. Training people to speak who just want to make money or have people run to the back of the room bores me. That is not worth my time. God has not given me the grace of being on the planet for 7 years to waste my time with people who are playing small. My voice and my time is not for people who don't want to make a global impact. And what I realize, only 1% want to do that. Only 1%. You're a 1%er. You're a 1%, Anita. Reuben is a 1%er. And I have so much in me, and I said, God, please don't don't let me die with this in there. There's got to be somebody I can share this with, that I can talk to, that they can hear me. That can hear me. Please, God, don't let me go with this in me. Please, please give me someone that can hear and pass it on. And you, I can hear. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
And thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity for us to be able to show you how much we appreciate this work that we've been able to do. Ruben was on with me last week. He'll be on next week. And all of us who are studying to show ourselves approved, because we know that your work is not in vain, that the reason why we can touch voices, Les, that I can get emails from across the globe from people who have heard this call or have been inspired by the words that we speak. It is an honor, and not one that I take for granted, but seeing you live your words, seeing you every single time you are listening with a different ear. You are still investing in yourself, and you said 7 years. I know you look young, but it's 70.
I said 7 years. That's what happened when you turn 70, baby. You just leave a zero off. Oh, my God.
And you know, Les, because you mentioned something that is so key. After spending so much time around you and Dr. Sweeting and Mike, it's challenging for me to just see people just want to make money. Like my son, I know he has the same gift that I have, and he has started his own teleconference. He is taking his work so seriously because I have instilled those things in him that you have instilled in me. And I'm constantly traveling around, and when I speak and I train, whether I'm speaking to one person or 1,000 people, what I've learned from you is that one person, whether it's 2 people or 20, don't take that for granted, because that could be one person in that room that could change the universe. So I thank you. I'm like Stacie, because you have deposited this in us, and we're running. We're not sitting still. We are running this race, and we are serious about what you have deposited in us. So I'm looking forward. So I'm excited about doing the calls as well.
Let me tell you what I want to do, though. I'm going to have an event for your son who's in music, and all of that will go toward his dream. We have to support each other's children's dream. And I texted him and told him I was going to do that, and I'm going to. This time coming back from being in 5 countries, and not just jet lag from that, but having a major medical procedure has been a character building experience for me. I've learned a lot about life, about myself, and I've been going and going, and I've been very fortunate. Haven't missed any speaking engagements. I've been very fortunate. I've been able to still give. And I realized you can't please everybody.
No.
I received a very critical letter from a young man who used to kidnap women and sell them. And because I didn't return a call to him as soon as he wanted me to, he just went off on me. And I said in response to him, anger is a wind that blows out the lamp of the mind. Anybody can be a lowlife and burn bridges in relationships. And I said, there's a part of me that, if you want to continue, that won't let me respond to you as others would. Because at some point in my life, I've been stupid and made some statements that I shouldn't have made in anger. But what I thought about, this young man has so much to offer, has so many others. But then I stopped myself And I said, if I help him, I'm helping an individual that 9 times out of 10, what I do will fail. But if I help a kid who's doing the right thing, who has not and is not out there breaking the law, living and walking in darkness, a kid who's might not be the most brilliant kid, but just doing what they can to make a difference with what they have. If I help that kid, I'll save a society. I'll save a Martin Luther King. I'll save a Barack Obama. Because I've had the experience of trying to convert. And a person converted against their will is of the same opinion still. And I lean on Scripture, and I say this to the two of you. Jesus said, whosoever will, let him come. And that's major. Whosoever will, let him come. He who has ear, let him hear. We have to work with the willing. You have to work with the willing. Your son has made good decisions. He's a good son. He's in school. He's studied. He's accomplished. That's what we got to help. That's what we got to focus on. We got to put our energy where it will pay off for us. It will pay off for us. I've got a son that's very talented. I will not give him a dime. You hear me? If I thought I was about to die and I had a quarter, I would swallow it. I would swallow it. They have to perform an autopsy to get it out. Let me tell you something. Because you notice that the same people show up. Give me. Same people, always there when they need you. And so at this stage of my life, and God has given me grace. Everybody don't make 70. No. Especially African-American males, and don't look nowhere as good as me. It's not true because I said it, but I said it because it's true.
That's a true statement right there.
Let the record show. Yeah. But to hear
70 is the new 40 for you, Les. 70 is the new 40 for you.
Thank you so much. But when I hear you, it brought tears to my eyes. Like, you're Reuben. It brings tears to my eyes because I know the work will be continued. It will be continued, and you did a great job. I hear your growth, and you're listening, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the two of you. And so it is. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I love both of you.
Thank you so much, Les.
Love you too.
It is always so good to hear you drop in, and you always
and shock us.
Yes, and shock us. Great.
My feedback to you is you knocked it out the park.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. You knocked it out the park. Let the record show. Take care. You know I don't give away stuff easily. I'm hard.
We know, right, Stacie?
I know that. Look, I'm sitting here trying. Good thing they can't see me with the tears in my eyes when, you get that kind of reinforcement. And who knew you'd be on? That's why you have to always put your good foot forward and a clean player unders. You never know.
Exactly.
You never know.
You never know who's listening.
I like both those stories, and I'm going to use both of them and tell them that I heard it 3 times, and then I'm going to say I heard somewhere.
We learn from the best. Yes, we do. Yes, let's thank you so much. We love you.
I love you. Send me only serious people. I don't want to work with anybody but serious people. But there's some stuff that I'm going to share with you and Reuben and Anita and 3 other people that I have never shared before because no one was ready. But now, after losing 3 friends, I don't want to put anything off. We have a season.
Yes,
and we don't know when our season is up. Not that mine is going to be up anytime soon. I'm going to be here a long time, but I don't want to take anything for granted. Nothing for granted. I got up this morning thinking about Mike Rivers. I thought about him yesterday and the day before yesterday, and Thursday I thought about him, and he died Friday morning. What if I called him Thursday? I put it off. He'd been heavy on my mind. And so Aurelia said, stop living like you have 1,000 years to live. If there's something that you're supposed to do it now.
Do it. That's right.
Yes.
That's
I want you all to notice a technique and strategy that I'm using with my voice.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back from when I did it, let's say 2 years ago or a year ago, and you listen to my voice now, I have trained it to do something else. That's part of what I'm going to work with you on and show you why a major real estate coaching company owner said, I'm going to pay for every available speaking engagement you have. After I spoke to his group, I'm going to share with you what I did. I'm getting a copy of that speech so that you can listen to it and watch it and study it. And then, for the first time, I'm going to open up my Rolodex, and I'm going to give you access to who I speak to and get all the videos that I have of those presentations. And if I don't have them, I will walk you through the process of what they're looking for that will allow you to become very successful. I got a very good email from Kevin Bracey today, and he emailed me and said, because of your training, he said, this is what I'm making now. And it was $10,000 that he sent me from a school system that he spoke to. And so not to be outdone, I'm sending him an email today that when he read it, he can say, okay.
Look, Kevin is a bad boy, but we know who trained him. He's one, like you said, Les, some people come and go, but I've stayed. A lot of us have stayed, and Kevin is powerful. I know you have this training that's coming up on the 18th and 19th. Did you want to say anything to the listeners about this event that's going to be in Orlando, Florida?
This training will have Dr. Anthony Sweeting, and he has a PhD in theater, speech, and drama. He was my classmate that I modeled myself after him. When you hear him, you say, oh, and you say, Les, who? Am I right?
That's right.
That is true. This is true.
Yes, Dr. Sweeting is
Dr.
amazing.
Anthony Sweeting, he is not from this earth. He's from another planet. He's different. He's different.
Unless he knows how to get the butter from the duck.
Oh, he can get the butter from the duck.
He can get the butter from the duck. Yes, he can.
You know, we both had to speak at Mr. Washington's funeral. And when they called my name first, I said, thank you, Jesus, because I did not want to come after him. And true enough, I came up and I did my thing. But when Anthony got through, he took the butter from the duck. There was nothing left on the table. So he's going to be there. Mai Santana is going to be there, who's a phenomenal coach. And what we're going to do this time is showcase people, pull out their keynote presentation and walk them through the process of doing it. We're going to have a little competition. Mike Williams will be there as well. And I tell you, it's going to be a different. This is the last one I'm doing this year, and my goal is next year, just as I pass this to you, because there's no success without successes. You can never learn if you don't get a chance to do this. You have to grow into this, and so now with you and Ruben going back and forth, and after you get to a point where you've mastered it and created products out of this, then you pull someone else up who's serious and shows the potential, and you do the same thing with them. And so next year, it's time for me to only work with a select number of people. I'm not doing any international speaking engagements next year at all. And I'm not going to do the travel that I've done, and I'm pulling back. I will probably in 2016, I'm going to bring all the people who I work with will have to come to Orlando, that I probably will do 10 speaking engagements next year with some select corporations that I like. I think because when I started out, it was very few people with my background that was in the industry. And what has disappointed me is that even people that I have trained are not at the level where I am. And that's success is never ending. And this, what I understand success to be, is the people that I trained are trained properly. They will surpass me. So next year, my goal is to have the best speakers on the planet. That requires time. That requires time and mastery to reach that level, and contacts and relationships. And so I feel that's the assignment that God has for me on the business side, is training and developing other speakers and managing your careers. And I feel that we have lost so many young men. My nephew, I'm waiting for him to call. I've called him 5 times. He has not returned my call. He told his mother he's going to call me. Just got out of prison in Atlanta and got a sleeve. That tattoo's all over his neck, all over his arms. I mean, just totally retarded. And so I'm going to talk to him. But there's so many. He's a good kid, but he just got mixed up with the wrong group and just made some stupid, dumb mistakes, which I've had periods in my life when I was younger that I was temporarily insane. The world consists of the caught and the uncaught. I do believe that. And so I believe that I've been given grace. I'm going to donate all of my materials to any prison that will accept them. And I'm going to ask people to contribute to the Greatness Center so that I can broadcast in prisons all across this country. We've lost so many good men and women who've made some mistakes, and society make them pay over and over and over and over again and drive them back to the prisons because it is a profit center. It's a profit center. But my goal is to transform their mindset, to teach them how to become effective communicators, how to dress like a prospect and not a suspect, and how to use technology to create entrepreneurial ventures where they can earn money and not be demoralized by going out trying to get jobs that are not going to happen for them because of their record. I believe, to me, that's the greater work. The least that you do unto these, my brethren, you do it also unto me. I believe in these juvenile detention centers and in these prisons, there's some Malcolm X's up in there. There's genius up in there. Now, there's some people who need to be there, but there are a whole lot of them whose lives have been destroyed by very corrupt cops who framed them and put cases on them. We can see that now. The judges treated the judges and the prosecuting attorneys have a sweetheart relationship with policemen. And they have ruined the lives of so many of our people. Ruined their lives. Oh, God, I'm getting upset and my blood pressure is going up. This is the Les Brown, the activist that used to be in Columbus, Ohio. Y'all don't know about him, but you talk to people in Columbus about Les Brown when he was on the radio. I did not play. But it bothers me. It bothers me, young men who've been framed. It bothers me. It bothers me. And so it's not enough to be bothered. Some of them can hear my voice. Some of them can hear my voice. And I'm going up in there. And I believe that God is going to give me grace to have the health and the stamina to do that work. I'm 70 years young, and 40, as you said, Anita, is the new 70. Flesh and blood didn't reveal that to you, but my Heavenly Father, which art in heaven.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate you,
Yes.
Les, and we thank God for you. You are such a blessing to us and to the universe. I know it's 9:05, and we have our platinum call.
Oh,
so
my goodness. Well, look here. Y'all go ahead on
But
it.
we needed
Y'all
to
do
hear
that.
you, and the listeners needed to hear you. We needed to hear that, and thank you so much. It just really
do y'all need me on the platinum call?
If we'd love to have you,
you know
on
what?
the call.
Y'all can do that. Y'all can do that call. Now, I know
all right,
you can do
you
it.
go get some rest because you came on and you surprised me and you were here listening. I thank you for your words. I thank you for who you are, what you do, how you have been working with all of us who are willing to be able to take our voices to the next level to make a change. So those who really want to get the
I tell you, what I'm going to do in the
space,
platinum call, I'm going to break your speech down, and I took notes, and I'm going to walk through what you did, and for those, and why the others, what they need to learn from that. Okay. So, all right.
So they're on the line waiting.
I know, Stacie, you have to get on the platinum call. So
yes, I'm going to open it up.
Thank you so much,
I just want to say bye to all the callers. First, let's love you and thank you again. And Anita, thank you. And I want to say bye to all of the listeners who have been faithful listeners. There have been a couple of emails that Jason, a few other people have sent. I just want to give you a public shout out. Thank you for supporting this call, for being here, and for connecting with us. Stay connected. Meet us in Orlando. Anita's going to tell you again. You can also go to www.lesbrown.com for that training in September. And send me a social media message at Stacie NC Grant, STACIENCGRANT. I would love to hear your thoughts tonight. If it touched your heart, do the assignments. Let me know how your progress is. We'll be back on again next week, Monday, and continue to live your best life because the world is depending on you. And I am going to sign off unless we need to get on the platinum call. Bye-bye.
And I'll see you all shortly. But listeners, thank you so much. Here is the number if you want to attend the September 18th through the 19th Les Brown I Have to Speak conference in Orlando, Florida. Contact Valerie Parker, and her telephone number is 954-724-0900. And you can also go to lesbrown.com for more information. And if you are serious and you want to become a platinum speaker or you want to learn how to become a platinum speaker, you can email me, Anita Hicks, at Anita, that's ANITA-HICKS.com, and I will send you more information on the platinum speakers. It's Anita at AnitaHicks.com. So we look forward to you next week. Please invite someone out next week, and we will see you on the call. And thank you so much. And remember those powerful words tonight, and remember the words of Les Brown. And as I always say to you each and every week when I sign off, never, ever, ever give up on your dreams, because the world awaits your light, your authentic gift. God bless you all, and God bless your dreams. And connect with me as well on Facebook, Anita Hicks, and just go out there, Anita Hicks, or go to my website, anitahicks.com. We want to stay connected to you. Powerful words tonight. So send us an email. Let us know what your thoughts are about the call tonight and just how we can be of service to you, because we want you to move to the next level. God bless you all, and God bless your dreams. Good night, everyone.
What if I told you that everything you've been taught about money is a complete and total lie? That your bank account has nothing, I mean nothing, to do with the economy, your job, or even how hard you work. Right now, millions of people are grinding themselves into the ground, convinced that their financial struggle is just bad luck, a bad economy, a string of unfortunate breaks. But what if I told you that's just the symptom, not the cause? What if the real reason money avoids you is because you're unknowingly breaking a set of ancient spiritual laws that govern every single dollar that flows into your life? Tonight, you're going to discover the 7 hidden spiritual laws that control your money, and I'm going to give you the master key. Most people will never hear this. They'll be too busy chasing the next hot stock tip or side hustle, but you're different. You're here because you know there's a deeper truth. And laws in 7, it's the most important one. It's the law that makes all the others work. Miss this, and you miss everything. So listen up. This could change everything for you. So, let's begin with the first law, that is, my words create my world. Let me repeat it. My words create my world. What if I told you that the most powerful tool you have for creating wealth isn't your education, your resume, your connections, or your business plan? What if I told you it's something you carry with you every single moment of every single day? Something so readily available, so incredibly potent, that most people just give it away without a second thought. I want you to think about this. I want you to really let this land, because if you get this, if you truly embody this one single law, it will change absolutely everything for you. I'm talking about your words. I'm talking about the very language that comes out of your mouth. Most people, they treat their words like they're nothing. Like they're just sounds that disappear into the air, casual commentary on the world as they see it. They complain about their boss, they gripe about the price of gas, they joke with their friends about being broke, they sigh and say, I can't afford that, as if it's just a simple statement of fact. But I need you to understand, and I need you to understand this at a cellular level, that your words are not a thermometer. Your mouth is not designed to simply report on the current conditions of your life, to read off the numbers on your bank statement like a news anchor reporting the weather. That is a powerless way to live. That is giving away your creative authority to your circumstances. Your mouth was designed to be a thermostat. It was designed to set the temperature of your reality. It is the most powerful creative instrument you will ever own. Every single word you speak is a command. It's an instruction to the universe, to the divine intelligence that orchestrates all of life. And this intelligence, it doesn't judge your words. It doesn't filter them through logic or say, oh, they didn't really mean that, they were just joking. No, it takes you at your word. It listens with recording precision, and it says, your wish is my command. It multiplies what it hears without question. So when you casually say, I'm always behind on my bills, you are not commenting on a situation. You are giving a direct, unambiguous order to the universe. You are saying, universe, ensure that I am always behind on my bills. Make it so. Create the situations, the delays, the unexpected expenses that will keep me in this state. And the universe, being obedient to your command, says yes. When you laugh with a friend and say, oh, I'm so broke, you are not making a harmless joke. You are programming your reality. You are standing in the infinite creative studio of life, and you are saying, more of this, please. Amplify this feeling of being broke. Show me more evidence of lack. Line up the experiences that will make this joke a reality. And the universe says yes. When you look at something you desire, something that would bring you joy, and you sigh and say, I can't afford that, you are not stating a temporary financial condition. You are making a profound declaration of identity. You are announcing to yourself and to the creative forces of the world, I am someone who cannot afford good things. I am someone who is defined by lack. My identity is can't afford. And the universe, ever faithful, moves heaven and earth to ensure your outer world matches your inner spoken declaration. It will make sure opportunities dry up. It will make sure that money seems to slip through your fingers, all to keep you in alignment with the identity you just proclaimed. This is why you can work so hard and see so little result. You are working against your own word. You are pressing the accelerator of your effort with one foot while slamming on the brakes of your own language with the other. You are creating energetic resistance that no amount of hustling can overcome. But here is the incredible, life-altering, miraculous flip side of this law. When you consciously, deliberately, and with absolute conviction declare, I am abundantly provided for, you are not just engaging in positive thinking. You are not just trying to feel better. You are literally, spiritually, energetically molding the substance of your future. You are issuing a new command. You are saying, universe, I am now someone who is abundantly provided for. Rearrange reality to match this new truth. Bring me the opportunities, the ideas, the resources, the connections that prove this statement true, and the universe has no choice but to obey it, must say yes. When you look at your bills and instead of panic, you declare with faith, my supply meets every demand. There is an infinite stream of abundance flowing to me right now, and it is more than enough. You are not ignoring the number. You are commanding a new reality into the numbers. You are shifting from being a victim of your circumstances to being the author of them. You are using your word to build a new financial foundation under your When you speak about your goals with confidence as if they are already done, you are creating a spiritual mold of completion. You are pouring the liquid, unformed substance of the future into the solid mold of your declared word, and it must take that shape. It has no other choice. This is the hidden mechanism behind every financial miracle. This is the secret that every great manifestor, every person who seems to effortlessly attract wealth, understands at their core. They have learned to guard their words like a precious treasure. They understand that a conversation is not casual. It is a creative act. They know that every sentence is either a deposit or a withdrawal from their spiritual bank account. They are constantly, consciously making deposits. I am a money magnet. Deposit. Opportunities find me everywhere. Deposit. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. Deposit. I am open and ready to receive. Deposit. And these deposits accumulate spiritual interest. They compound, and soon the physical reality has no choice but to reflect the abundant balance in your spiritual account. Most people are unknowingly bankrupting themselves spiritually through careless speech. Then they wonder why their physical bank account is empty. They are making withdrawal after withdrawal after withdrawal, then looking at the universe asking, "Why have you forsaken me?" The universe is simply giving you exactly what you asked for. It is always obeying your last command. So the transformation begins right now in this moment. It begins with taking radical responsibility for every single word that comes out of your mouth. It requires vigilance. It requires you to become the watcher of your own speech. You will catch yourself 1,000 times a day starting to utter the old language of lack. And in that moment, you have a choice. You can complete the sentence and make a withdrawal, or you can stop yourself, interrupt the pattern, and make a deposit. You can change "I can't afford" to "I am choosing to invest my resources elsewhere right now, and I am open to new avenues of income." You can change "money is so tight" to "money is flowing to me from unexpected sources." You can change "I'm broke" to "I am in a temporary state of transfer and my abundance is on its way." This isn't lying. This is telling a higher truth. This is aligning your language with the reality you wish to create, rather than the illusion you are currently experiencing. This is the sacred work. This is how you become the architect of your destiny instead of the tenant in a house someone else built. Your words are the bricks and mortar. Every declaration of abundance is another brick laid in the foundation of your new financial reality. Every statement of gratitude is a payment made on the mortgage of your magnificent life. You must speak your world into existence, because the universe is always listening, and it is always ready to obey. So what world will you choose to speak today? Olawatu is, "I am wealth in motion." Let's go deeper now, because understanding the power of your word is the first monumental step, but there is a deeper layer, a foundational core that your words must ultimately be built upon. You can affirm all day long. You can declare, "I am abundant," until you're blue in the face. But if deep down in the very core of your being, in the silent, hidden rooms of your subconscious mind, you have a different identity playing on a loop, you will always hit an invisible ceiling. Your results will always be limited by your identity. Your subconscious mind is not logical. It doesn't care about your affirmations. It operates like a thermostat, and its only job is to maintain the temperature, the identity that it believes is truly you. That thermostat is set by your deepest, most ingrained beliefs about who you are. So if your core identity, the story you've been telling yourself for years, is "I'm bad with money," that thermostat is set to financial struggle. You might get a windfall, a bonus, a tax return, an unexpected check, and for a moment, the temperature in the room rises. It gets warm with abundance, but that thermostat kicks in. Its job is to get the room back to its set point, back to struggle. And so it will create an unexpected car repair, a medical bill, a bad investment decision, a moment of impulse spending. It will find a way to vent the excess heat and bring your financial reality back to what feels normal, back to what your identity can comfortably hold. If your identity is "I'm just not a lucky person," That thermostat is set to missed opportunities. The universe could line up a perfect chance right in front of you, and your identity will force you to second guess it, to hesitate, to find a reason why it won't work, to literally not even see it, because it doesn't match who you believe yourself to be. You will self-sabotage beautifully, efficiently, and unconsciously, all to remain loyal to your old story. This is the ultimate prison. This is why people stay stuck for decades. They change their actions on the surface. They get a new job, they start a side hustle, they read the books, but they never change the identity underneath. They are trying to paint a new exterior on a crumbling foundation. It will never hold. The transformation, the real and lasting breakthrough, doesn't happen when your bank account changes, and then you finally allow yourself to feel wealthy. That's backwards. That's waiting for external proof to grant you permission to feel a new way. True power, spiritual power, works in the opposite direction. The transformation happens when you change your identity first, when you consciously, courageously, and consistently choose a new label for yourself, when you decide from this moment forward that the old story is dead, that the old contracts are null and void. You must walk into the control room of your mind and you must reset the thermostat. You must change the setting from "I'm a struggler" to "I am wealth in motion." Let's break that down, because this is not a casual phrase. "I am" is the most powerful statement in the universe. It is the statement of being. It defines existence. Wealth is not just a pile of money. Wealth is a state of being. It is a consciousness of abundance, of overflow, of having more than enough to meet your needs and contribute to the world. It is an inner condition that naturally produces outer results. In motion is critical. This is not stagnant wealth. This is not hoarded wealth. This is fluid, dynamic, circulating energy. It implies flow. It implies that money moves through you, to you, from you, for you. It is energy that you direct and command. So "I am wealth in motion" is a complete identity overhaul. It means my very being is abundant. My nature is to attract, to create, to circulate, and to expand. This is not what I have, this is who I am. When you install this new identity, everything changes. You don't just say the words, you must become them. You must think from this new identity. What would someone who is wealth in motion think about this opportunity? They would see the potential, not the risk. They would move with confidence, not hesitation. You must speak from this new identity. Your language automatically shifts to "I can," "I will," "it is possible," because that is the language of wealth in motion. You must make decisions from this new identity. How does someone who is wealth in motion spend their time? Who do they associate with? What do they read? How do they invest? You start making choices that affirm this new you, and each choice is another brick in the foundation of your new reality. This is where the law of the word and the law of identity merge into an unstoppable force. You use your word to cement your new identity. You repeat "I am wealth in motion," not as a hopeful wish, but as a statement of fact. You say it when you wake up. You say it when you look in the mirror. You say it when you make a decision. You say it when you feel doubt creeping in. You say it until your subconscious mind, that stubborn thermostat, has no choice but to accept it as its new operating truth. You bombard it with evidence of this new identity. You act as if, you dress as if, you walk as if, you organize your day as if, you give as if. You are no longer trying to get wealth, you are practicing being well. And here's the miraculous part: when your identity truly shifts, when the thermostat is finally reset to wealth in motion, your external reality has no choice but to change. It is a law. The universe must mirror your inner state. It will rearrange circumstances. It will send people. It will open doors. It will present opportunities that perfectly match your new identity. The money will come not because you chased it, but because you became the person it naturally flows to. It will feel effortless because you are simply operating in alignment with your true nature. You are no longer swimming against the current of your own self-concept. You are the current. The old labels, "I'm bad with money," "I'm not a salesperson," "I don't deserve it," "money is evil," those are lies. They are stories you adopted from other people, from past failures, from a culture that sometimes glorifies struggle. They are not the truth of who you are. Your true identity, your spiritual birthright, is abundance, it is flow, it is prosperity, it is being a conduit for immense good in the world. So the work is to shed the old skin, to refuse to identify with your past financial mistakes, to forgive yourself for every bad decision and declare that those decisions were made by a different person, a person who didn't know who they truly were. That person is gone. The new you is here. The you that is wealth itself. The you that is in motion. The you that commands money, not through force, but through magnetic identity. So who are you? Are you the old story, or are you ready to step into the truth? The world is waiting to reflect back to you exactly who you decide to be. To refuse to identify with your past financial mistakes, to forgive yourself for every bad decision, and declare that those decisions were made by a different person, a person who didn't know who they truly were. That person is gone. The new you is here, the you that is wealth itself, the you that is in motion, the you that commands money, not through force, but through magnetic identity. So who are you? Are you the old story, or are you ready to step into the truth? The world is waiting to reflect back to you exactly who you decide to be. This is why the miser, the hoarder, the one who lives in constant fear of loss, often ends up with exactly what they feared most: lack. They repelled the very thing they were trying to hold on to because they were operating in direct opposition to its fundamental nature. Money is a current. You cannot hold a current in your hand. You can only direct it, guide it, and trust that as it flows out, it will flow back in, often from a different, more powerful source. The act of release is an act of faith. It is a declaration to the cosmos that says, I trust you. I know that the source is infinite. I know that as I release this, I make room for more. I am not a dead-end pond where water stagnates. I am a vessel, a channel in a mighty, ever-flowing river of abundance. This is the radical shift. This is where you move from being a hoarder to being a conductor. When you spend money with joy, knowing it is going to circulate and create value, you are blessing it. When you invest with confidence, not in the outcome, but in the principle of circulation itself, you are activating its return mechanism. When you give generously, not from a place of I hope this comes back, but from a place of I know this is how the flow works. I am participating in the divine rhythm of give and receive. You are placing an order with the universe for multiplication. This is the law. You must release to increase. You cannot receive with a closed fist. An open hand is required both to give and to receive. The flow must have a current. It must have movement. Your fear, your gripping, your hoarding is like building a dam in the middle of your own river of abundance. You are creating a stagnant pool behind a dam that will eventually evaporate, and you are creating a desert downstream. The moment you release the fear, the moment you break that dam with an act of conscious, faith-filled circulation, the river begins to flow again. Life returns. Opportunities you couldn't see before because you were so focused on protecting your little pool suddenly appear. The universe rushes in to fill the vacuum of trust you have created. This doesn't mean being irresponsible. It means being conscious. It means shifting the energy behind every transaction. It means changing I have to pay this bill to I joyfully circulate this energy back into the economy, knowing it returns to me multiplied. It means changing I can't afford to give to I am a powerful source of abundance, and I choose to plant this seed. This is the practice. This is the daily discipline of trust. You are training your nervous system to believe in the flow even when your bank statement hasn't caught up yet. You are proving to yourself, through action, that the universe is abundant and responsive. You are not waiting for proof to trust. You are trusting to create the proof. Fourth law is I tithe with declaration. Now let's take this principle of circulation and amplify it 1,000-fold. Let's talk about the single most powerful spiritual practice for activating undeniable, miraculous financial flow. I'm not talking about giving from guilt. I'm not talking about giving to get a tax write-off. I'm not even talking about giving to a cause you believe in, though that's a beautiful thing. I'm talking about something far more profound. I'm talking about tithing as a spiritual command. I'm talking about giving not to man but to principle. You see, when you give to a person or an organization, you are operating on the human level. Your return is subject to human variables, their gratitude, their competence, their ability to use it effectively. But when you tithe, when you consciously give a portion of your income back to the source of all life, to the universal principle of abundance itself, you are operating on a spiritual level. You are no longer in a human transaction. You are in a divine covenant. You are essentially saying, Spirit, I recognize that you are my ultimate source. not my job, not my clients, not my investments, you. And in recognition of that truth, I joyfully return this portion to you, to the work of Spirit in the world. This act is the ultimate expression of trust in the flow. It is the ultimate demonstration that you know the source is infinite. But here is where 99% of people miss the entire point. They give the money and they walk away. They give in silence. They give and then they hope. Maybe something will happen. Maybe they'll get lucky. This is like planting a precious seed in the ground and then never watering it. You are leaving the harvest to chance. The money is the seed. But your declaration, your spoken word is the waters. It is the essential activating ingredient that commands the growth, that tells the universe exactly how to multiply that seed. This is the master key. You must never ever give in silence again. The moment you release that tithe, that gift, you must speak over it with absolute authority. You must declare its purpose. You must command its return. This is not hoping. This is not wishing. This is instructing. You are programming the energy. You are giving the universe its marching orders. I tithe this $100 in recognition that Spirit is my source. I declare this seed is blessed. I command that it return to me multiplied tenfold, 100-fold, in perfect and divine timing. I declare that this act of faith opens the floodgates of heaven in unprecedented abundance, now flows to me through unexpected channels. This seed produces an abundant harvest. So it is. Do you feel the difference? Do you feel the shift from passive hope to active command? You are no longer a beggar hoping the universe will throw you a scrap. You are a master, operating in accordance with spiritual law and instructing the energy to obey you. You are using the law of the word to activate the law of circulation. This combination is utterly unstoppable. The universe must respond to this level of conscious, faithful command. It is law. When you tithe with declaration, you are not losing money. You are making a strategic spiritual investment with a guaranteed return. You are activating a cosmic law that must yield a harvest. You are proving your faith not just with your money, but with your mouth, and that is when the miracles begin. You are showing the universe you are serious. You are not just a student of these principles. You are a practitioner. You are a commander of energy. This is how you move from theory to manifestation. This is how you turn a simple act of giving into a spiritual transaction that shakes the foundations of your financial reality and brings forth a harvest you could not have imagined. The seed is nothing without the water. The gift is incomplete without the declaration. The fifth law is I choose new agreements. Right now, buried in the silent operating system of your mind, are contracts you never consciously signed. Agreements with lack whispered from family stories, contracts with struggle signed during past failures, treaties with unworthiness negotiated by a world that made you feel you weren't enough. These old agreements are the silent saboteurs of your abundance. You can affirm prosperity all day, but if your subconscious is still loyal to that old paperwork, you are in a state of civil war. Your conscious mind declares, I am wealthy, while your subconscious, bound by contract, whispers, but people like us don't get ahead. This internal contradiction creates scrambled signals the universe cannot decipher. The transformation begins when you consciously, ruthlessly tear up those old contracts. You must go into the vault of your mind, pull out every agreement that says life is a struggle, that money is hard to come by, that you are not worthy of overflow, and you must burn them. Then, and only then, can you sign new ones. You take a pen of unwavering conviction and you sign a new contract that states, I agree only with abundance. I agree only with divine flow. I agree only with effortless prosperity. My past does not dictate my future. My heritage is not my destiny. I am no longer a party to any agreement that contradicts my divine right to wealth. This is the sacred work of internal alignment. When your entire being, conscious and subconscious, finally agrees on the new story, your vibration becomes a clear, powerful, unconfused signal that the universe must obey. Let's go on to the next law, that is, I am wealth in motion. Your external reality is a perfect mirror of your internal identity. It has to be. This is non-negotiable spiritual law. You can hustle, you can affirm, you can learn every strategy, but if your deepest self-concept is, I'm a struggler, or I'm bad with money, That is the exact identity your bank account will reflect. Your subconscious mind acts as a thermostat, tirelessly working to bring your outer conditions back to match your inner setting. A windfall will trigger an unexpected expense. A raise will be met with a new bill. This isn't bad luck. This is your identity maintaining its homeostasis. The breakthrough doesn't happen when you get money and then feel wealthy. It happens when you dare to feel wealthy first, embodying the identity of abundance before any evidence appears. You must consciously assassinate the old label and install a new one. I am wealth in motion. This is not a hopeful wish. It is a statement of spiritual fact. I am defines your being. Wealth is your state of overflowing abundance. In motion means you are a dynamic conductor of this energy, not a stagnant hoarder. You must think from this identity, speak from it, make decisions from it. You dress as wealth in motion. You organize your time as wealth in motion. You carry yourself as wealth in motion. You repetitively declare this new truth until your subconscious thermostat has no choice but to accept the new setting. Once your identity shifts, your reality has no choice but to follow. The universe must mirror your new I. Money will flow, not because you chased it, but because you became the person it cannot ignore. So the last law, the seventh one, is this. And this law is the very important law among all these 7 laws. So the law is, because I obey divine law, money cannot ignore me. This is where it all comes together. This is the culmination. This is the difference between knowing the path and walking the path. You can have all the intellectual understanding in the world. You can nod your head in agreement. You can feel the truth of these laws resonate in your soul. You can get fired up and inspired and ready to change your life. But if you don't translate that inspiration into consistent, daily, unwavering obedience, nothing will change. Knowledge without application is just noise. Inspiration without implementation is just a fleeting emotion. The universe does not respond to what you know, it responds to what you do consistently. It responds to rhythm, it responds to the vibrational signature you emit day in and day out through your habits, your rituals, your non-negotiable practice. This is the law of obedience, and it is the master key that unlocks the power of all the others. You cannot command money if you refuse to obey the spiritual laws that govern it. This isn't about being perfect. It's not about never having a moment of doubt or never missing a day. It's about commitment. It's about making the conscious decision that these principles are no longer something you try when you feel like it. They become your new operating system. They become the default setting for your life. Most people approach this like a buffet. They pick and chew. They'll practice the law of the word when they remember, but then they'll go have a complaining session with a friend and make massive withdrawals from their spiritual account. They'll practice circulation when they have extra, but clutch in fear when things feel tight. They'll assume the feeling of wealth for an hour and then spend the rest of the day worrying about bills. This is vibrational chaos. This is like trying to tune a radio by constantly spinning the dial. All you get is static. The universe receives a scrambled, confused signal and doesn't know what to deliver, so it delivers more confusion. Obedience is the act of stopping the dial on one frequency and leaving it there. It's the daily sacred repetition that does the work. It's the morning declaration, even when your voice shakes. It's the thought substitution in the middle of a stressful day, especially when you don't feel like it. It's the act of tithing with declaration when the numbers in your bank account look scary. It's speaking your new identity aloud when the old one is screaming in your ear. This is how you reprogram your subconscious mind. Your subconscious doesn't learn from what you do once. It learns from what you repeat. It's like building muscle. You don't get strong by lifting a weight one time. You get strong by lifting it over and over and over again, consistently, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. That repetition is what creates the new neural pathways. That obedience is what rewires your entire energetic blueprint. When you obey these laws daily, you are building spiritual muscle. You are building a vibrational momentum that becomes unstoppable. You are sending such a clear, consistent, powerful signal to the universe that it has no choice but to reorganize reality to match your command. The declaration, because I obey divine law, money cannot ignore me, is not a request. It is not a hope. It is a statement of spiritual fact. It is you recognizing your role as a co-creator. You are stating the terms of your existence. You are announcing that you understand how the machinery of the universe works, and you have chosen to operate in harmony with. You are not begging for abundance. You are commanding it through your alignment. Money is energy, and energy must obey law. Just as electricity must obey the laws of conductivity, money must obey the laws of spirit. When you live in obedience to these laws, you become a perfect conductor for financial energy. You become a lightning rod for abundance. The money it cannot ignore you because you have placed yourself directly in the current of its flow. You have removed all the blocks, the resistance, the contradictory vibrations that were repelling it. You have made yourself magnetic. This is the ultimate shift in power. You move from hoping God will bless you to understanding that God already has blessed you with immutable laws, and your job is to obey them. You move from waiting for your ship to come in to realizing you are the captain who must steer the ship according to the charts of divine principle. The obedience is the steering. The results are the destination. So the question is never whether these laws work. The question is always whether you will work them. Will you have the discipline to be obedient even before you see the evidence? Will you have the faith to practice the rhythm even when the melody hasn't started playing yet? That is the test. That is the journey. And when you pass that test, when you commit to that journey, you will finally understand that the command over money was never about the money at all. It was always about your willingness to obey the divine design. So let's bring this all together. This wasn't just about money, was it? This was about power. Your power. It's about understanding that you are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the architect of them. Your words, your identity, your trust in the flow, your conscious commands, your internal agreements, your disciplined obedience. These aren't just ideas. These are the tools you've been given to command reality itself. Money is just energy, and energy must obey law. You now know the laws. You have the combination to the vault. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you go back to the old way of thinking, the old way of struggling, or will you make the decision right here, right now, that your financial life ends today and your financial destiny begins? The journey from lack to abundance is a single step, the step of decision. Decide that from this moment on, you will speak only life into your finances. You will see yourself as wealth in motion. You will trust the flow. You will tithe with declaration. You will choose new agreements. And you will obey these divine laws with a consistency that makes the universe have no choice but to respond. You are not meant to struggle. You are meant to prosper. You are meant to be a vessel of abundance. Now go out there and claim what is already yours. This is the kind of transformative truth we live for here on Tony Robbins Track. If this video hit you right between the eyes, if you felt that shift inside, then you need to subscribe right now. Hit that button and turn on notifications. Because we're not here for surface level tips. We're here for life-altering transformation. And this is just the beginning. I want to know this reached you. I want to know you're ready. So let me know down in the comments. Tell me I am wealth in motion. Let me see that you've made the decision. If you want to keep this journey going, there's a video right here that's going to blow your mind on how to instantly reprogram your mindset for wealth. You need to watch it next. Remember, knowledge is not power. Knowledge applied is power. Now go apply it. See you in the next video. How many of you right now feel like you're capable of more, but something keeps holding you back? How many of you have ever felt stuck, not because you lack potential, but because something inside of you just isn't clicking? Listen to me, success is not about talent, it's not about luck, it's not about circumstances, it's about what's happening in your mind. It's about mental strength. The strongest people in the world, the ones who dominate in business, in sports, in life, aren't necessarily the smartest or the most skilled. They are the ones who have mastered their mind. They control their emotions instead of letting their emotions control them. They show up every day with relentless consistency, no matter what. They take full ownership of their lives. No excuses, no blame, just pure responsibility. And today, I'm going to give you 5 habits, 5 mindset shifts that separate the mentally strong from everybody else. Because if you don't master these, you will always be at the mercy of your emotions, your fears, and your excuses. But if you do, you will become unstoppable. Let's dive in. Control your focus. Where focus goes, energy flows. This is one of the most powerful principles that separates mentally strong individuals from those who struggle with uncertainty, negativity, and self-doubt. Your mind is like a magnifying glass. Whatever you focus on expands. If you constantly focus on problems, they become bigger and more overwhelming. But if you train yourself to focus on solutions, opportunities, and what you can control, you shift your entire state of mind, and suddenly life starts working for you instead of against you. Mentally strong people have mastered the ability to direct their focus intentionally. They don't allow distractions, setbacks, or external circumstances to dictate their mindset. They take command of their thoughts. They make a conscious choice every single day to focus on progress, growth, and possibilities. This isn't something that happens automatically. It's a skill, a habit that must be trained and conditioned. Just like a muscle, think about the most successful people in the world. Athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders. Do you think they waste their time focusing on what's wrong? No, they train themselves to find solutions. They condition their minds to see possibilities where others see obstacles. They focus on what they can do, not what they can't. And this mindset gives them an unstoppable edge in everything they do. Imagine a person who constantly focuses on why they can't succeed. They tell themselves they're not smart enough, not talented enough, or that life is unfair. Their mind reinforces those beliefs, and their actions reflect that negativity. On the other hand, someone who chooses to focus on solutions will see opportunities where others see dead ends. They'll ask better questions. What can I learn from this? How can I turn this around? What's the next step I can take? The answers they come up with propel them forward instead of holding them back. One of the most effective ways to take control of your focus is by asking powerful questions. Your brain is like a search engine. It will find whatever you tell it to look for. If you constantly ask, why does this always happen to me? Your mind will give you a list of reasons why life is unfair. But if you ask, how can I turn this into an opportunity? Your brain will start searching for ways to make it happen. Questions determine your focus, and your focus determines your reality. Visualization is another tool they use. They don't just hope things will get better. They see it in their mind's eye. They create a clear picture of their goals and mentally rehearse their success before it even happens. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's training the brain to focus on winning. When the mind believes something is possible, it finds a way to make it a reality. At the end of the day, focus is a decision. You can either let the world control your attention, or you can take charge and direct it toward what empowers you. When you master your focus, you master your emotions. When you master your emotions, you master your actions. And when you master your actions, you master your life. Embrace discomfort. Growth only happens in discomfort. Mentally strong people understand this at their core. They don't shy away from challenges, they seek them out. They don't avoid struggle, they lean into it. They have trained themselves to get comfortable being uncomfortable because they know that discomfort is the gateway to transformation. Think about the people who never change, who stay stuck in the same patterns year after year. Why? Because they fear discomfort. They fear failure, rejection, and uncertainty. They would rather stay in a situation that isn't working than step into the unknown and take a chance on something better. But the truth is, the discomfort of staying the same is far worse than the discomfort of growth. Look at elite athletes. They push their bodies beyond their limits every single day. They don't stop when it gets hard. They push harder. Why? Because they understand that every rep, every sprint, every ounce of pain is making them stronger. They've conditioned themselves to embrace discomfort because they know that's where the real growth happens. One of the biggest forms of discomfort people struggle with is failure. Most people avoid taking risks because they're afraid to fail, but mentally strong individuals see failure differently. They don't see it as the end, they see it as feedback. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback is a stepping stone. The people who achieve the greatest success are the ones who have failed the most because they were willing to take action despite the discomfort. Look at the greatest entrepreneurs, leaders, and innovators in history. Every single one of them faced massive failures before achieving success. They embraced the discomfort of rejection, criticism, and uncertainty because they knew that pushing through those challenges was the only way to grow. Think about the first time you did something difficult. Maybe it was public speaking, starting a business, or pushing your body through an intense workout. At first, it felt uncomfortable, but over time, what happened? It became easier. You got stronger. Why? Because you exposed yourself to discomfort enough times that it became your new normal. That's the secret. The more you embrace discomfort, the more resilient you become. Your threshold for challenge expands, and things that once seemed impossible become second nature. If you want to be mentally strong, you must train yourself to do the things that scare you, the things that stretch you, and the things that force you to grow. Discomfort is not the enemy. It is the price of progress. It is the path to mastery. It is the key to unlocking your true potential. The only way to reach the next level in any area of life is to step into the discomfort that comes with it. Master your emotions. Your emotions do not control you, you control them. This is the mindset of mentally strong individuals. They don't let fear, doubt, frustration, or anger dictate their actions. They don't allow temporary feelings to determine their long-term results. They have learned to master their emotions instead of being mastered by them. This is what separates those who thrive under pressure from those who crumble. Most people go through life reacting. Something happens and they immediately respond based on how they feel in that moment. If someone says something negative, they get defensive. If they experience a setback, they get discouraged. If things don't go as planned, they spiral into frustration. Their emotions dictate their actions, and because of that, they live in a constant state of uncertainty, always at the mercy of whatever is happening around them. Mentally strong people operate differently. They understand that emotions are powerful, but they also understand that emotions can be directed. They don't suppress how they feel, but they also don't let emotions take over. Instead, they train themselves to use emotions as fuel. Fear becomes motivation, frustration becomes drive, pain becomes power. Every emotion has energy, and when you learn to redirect that energy in a way that serves you, you become unstoppable. Think about an athlete who is about to compete. If they allowed fear and nerves to control them, they would never perform at their best. Instead, they take control of their mental state. They channel that nervous energy into focus. They reframe their fear as excitement. They have conditioned their mind to work for them rather than against them. This isn't something that happens by accident. It happens by training. One of the most effective ways to master your emotions is by shifting your perspective. Most people experience emotions based on the meaning they give to situations. If they lose a job, they see it as a disaster and they feel defeated. If a relationship ends, they see it as a failure and they feel broken. But mentally strong individuals ask better questions. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? They ask, how is this happening for me? They shift their mindset from victim to warrior. The way you speak to yourself determines how you feel. If you constantly tell yourself this is too hard, you will feel overwhelmed. If you say, I can't handle this, you will feel powerless. But if you tell yourself, this is making me stronger, or I will figure this out, you shift your emotions instantly. Self-talk is not just a motivational tool, it is the foundation of emotional mastery. Another powerful strategy is controlling your physiology. Your body and mind are connected, and how you move affects how you feel. When you stand tall, breathe deeply, and move with power, your emotions follow. This is why mentally strong people use movement to shift their state. They don't slump over when they feel down, they change their posture. They don't sit in sadness, they take action. They use their body to influence their emotions, instead of letting emotions dictate how they carry themselves. People who struggle with emotional control often get stuck in negative loops. Something goes wrong, they feel bad, and instead of breaking the pattern, they reinforce it by dwelling on the problem. Mentally strong individuals recognize these patterns and interrupt them. They change their focus, they move their body, they shift their perspective. They don't allow themselves to spiral into negativity because they know that every moment spent in a negative state is a moment wasted. Be relentlessly consistent. Motivation is temporary, discipline is permanent. Mentally strong people do not rely on fleeting bursts of inspiration to take action. They don't wait for the perfect mood, the perfect conditions, or the perfect timing. They have built a mindset of relentless consistency, showing up every single day, regardless of how they feel. The problem most people have is that they only take action when they feel like it. When they're excited, they work hard. When they're tired, they make excuses. When things are going well, they stay consistent. When obstacles appear, they lose momentum. This cycle keeps them stuck because they are letting their emotions determine their progress. Mentally strong individuals refuse to let that happen. They understand that true success is built through repetition, through discipline, through unwavering commitment. Think about the greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the highest performers in any field. They didn't get there by working hard once in a while. They got there by doing the work every single day, whether they felt like it or not. They built routines and habits that keep them moving forward. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on systems. Imagine someone who wants to get in shape. They start working out for a few days, but then they miss a session, then another. Suddenly, they've lost momentum and it feels impossible to start again. Now compare that to someone who commits to showing up every day, no matter what. Even if they don't feel like it, even if they only do a little, they keep moving. Over time, this consistency compounds and the results become undeniable. Mentally strong people understand that discipline is like a muscle. It must be trained. The more you practice consistency, the easier it becomes. What starts as effort turns into habit. What was once difficult becomes automatic. This is why the strongest people in the world have daily rituals that they never break. They don't negotiate with themselves. They don't give in to excuses. They have made success non-negotiable. Most people think they need motivation to start, but in reality, motivation comes after action, not before. When you take action, even when you don't feel like it, you build momentum. That momentum creates motivation, and the cycle continues. This is why mentally strong people never wait for inspiration. They take action first, and the motivation follows. The real test of mental strength is not how hard you work when you're excited. It's how committed you stay when things get tough. Anyone can be consistent when everything is going well. But what happens when you're tired, when you're stressed, when life throws obstacles in your path? That's when most people quit. But mentally strong individuals push through. They have conditioned themselves to keep moving forward no matter. The strongest people in the world are not the most talented, the most gifted, or the most fortunate. They are the most consistent. They are the ones who show up day after day, year after year, regardless of circumstances. They have built a mindset of relentless discipline, and because of that, they achieve what others only dream of. Take full responsibility. Mentally strong people don't blame others, make excuses, or wait for someone else to fix their problems. They take full ownership of their lives, every decision, every action, every result. No excuses, no victim mentality, no shifting blame. The moment they take full responsibility is the moment they take full control. Most people go through life pointing fingers. When something goes wrong, they blame their upbringing, the economy, their boss, or their past. But mentally strong people understand that responsibility equals power. The more they own their circumstances, the more they can change them. Taking responsibility doesn't mean controlling everything. It means controlling how you respond. Instead of saying, this isn't fair, they ask, how can I turn this around? They eliminate excuses. They don't say, I don't have time. They say, I haven't made it a priority. They don't say, I can't afford it. They say, how can I create the money? They refuse to be victims. No matter what has happened, they focus on what they can do next. They don't wait for motivation. They don't depend on luck. They don't settle for mediocrity. They hold themselves accountable, follow through, and take full responsibility for shaping their future. Mentally strong people understand that taking responsibility is the key to power. They know that if they blame others, they give away control. If they make excuses, they stay stuck. Instead of focusing on what's unfair, they focus on what they can do to change their situation. They take ownership of their time, decisions, and emotions. When something doesn't go their way, they don't waste time complaining. They ask, what can I learn from this? They recognize that every setback is a chance to grow. Instead of saying, I can't, they ask, how can I? Instead of waiting for someone to rescue them, they create solutions. Taking full responsibility means following through. Most people say they'll do something, but when it gets hard, they quit. Mentally strong people don't. They commit. They keep promises to themselves. They know that success isn't about luck. It's about discipline, action, and ownership. They control their thoughts, emotions, and reactions, shaping their future on their terms. This is it. This is where the separation happens. Everyone wants success, but very few are willing to build the mindset it takes to sustain it. You've just learned the 5 habits of mentally strong people. You now know how to master your emotions, how to be relentlessly consistent, how to take full responsibility for your life. But knowledge means nothing without action. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one of these habits and commit to it today. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now, because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the level of mental strength you bring to the table. And if you want more strategies to break through, to level up, to become the absolute best version of yourself, make sure you subscribe to Tony Robbins' Track and stay locked in, because this is just the beginning. Now go out there and make it happen.